Let's go. An Indian, a fifth-year Ram, a Rampage, a River King, a QB you need. Also a Lego fanatic and the best bags partner. Next, wait to shovel your snow, y'all, in that lawn. Throwing touchdowns right as you spawn. Beating DBs like they are a pawn. Joining the podcast is Isaak Hahn. Welcome to the podcast.
Wow. Round of applause for Mickey Hines. Oh my gosh, that was good.
I messed up there. I should have rehearsed it a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, here on the podcast is Isaac Han, one of my good friends. We played ball at Cornell together and been friends ever since. But he has continued his football journey in ways that people typically don't hear. So that's why it's the really interesting thing I wanted to have y'all on. So Isaac, give us the Sparks Notes version of kind of your career path so far in football.
Well, I mean, even the Spark Notes version, I feel like is pretty long. So, well, I mean, I guess we'll start from when I was little. I won't make it like super long, but obviously, I started just kind of how a lot of other kids start. Started with flag football. My dad played football in high school, so he wanted me to get into it. He wanted me and my brother to do as many sports as possible, and so football was one of the ones that he wanted us to at least try. And I'd say just from there, it's kind of stuck. So played flag football, played middle school football, played high school football. We played the very own Mount Vernon Mustangs. Mickey and I actually played each other in a game. That was also our first Saturday game because
Yes,
it
we
got
played on
rained out.
Saturday.
Remember? Yeah, it was lightning us out on Friday, and so then we played on Saturday.
Yep.
And then played, yeah, started 2 years on the varsity. And then from there, didn't really have a whole lot of offers. I knew I wanted to go and play college football. And like if I wasn't able to, then I'd just go be a college student. But I wanted to play college football and didn't have a lot of offers, but I mean I'm also kind of small, so that's not really shocking. Did a bunch of camps, traveled a bunch of places to go like do like tryouts and stuff or camps to get my name out there, sent out a lot of film, a lot of tapes, a lot of highlight emails, everything that I could to get my name out there. And I did all that work and I ended up going 20 minutes down the road to to Cornell College.
Nice.
So which I mean I do not regret any of those decisions. And I mean, Coach Dykes, who was the offensive coordinator at the time, he was the only coach to show up to one of my games. So that kind of just was a little extra incentive that I don't know, I just really wanted to go to Cornell. That after that, I was like, you know what, this coach made the effort. I'm also going to make the effort to go to Cornell. So it kind of all just fell in line. And then Cornell, once we got there, didn't play my freshman year, which wasn't surprising. I didn't really expect to play my freshman year. We also had DB, who was going to be setting a bunch of records and stuff. He was planning on coming back. The coaches were planning on him coming back. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. So I was really excited coming into Cornell to learn from him and gain a bunch of knowledge from him because he's obviously had a very successful career at Cornell. So that was something that I was really looking forward to. And it was just kind of sad that it didn't work out. But so I didn't play a lot my freshman year, but I really learned a lot and kind of enjoyed the process. I was getting my name in there for the scout team MVPs on offense. So I was doing what I could because I just wanted to play. My dad always says, hey, like, there's way more practices than there are games. So like enjoy the practices, have fun. Like I had the realization like, hey, I'm a college athlete. There's only, I think the stat is like 7% of
I think less than
all
that.
high
Yeah.
school athletes are go to be college athletes, something like that. So, I mean, I was one of the 7%. Like that's awesome. So I got to wake up every day and do that. My sophomore year, I saw a little bit more playing time. I just wanted to play. So for me, getting on the field, the best way that I could do that was long snapping. So I started my first start ever in college was at long snapper. So I mean I did my job. I wouldn't say I was like the best or anything. But did my job. I had a lot of like penalties called in favor of Cornell because I'd run down the field and I get absolutely blindsided and smoked
Nice.
by somebody and we get a blindside. We get flagged for that. Like it was perfect. So helping out the team how I could. Um, my first ever start at quarterback was my sophomore year against Monmouth, who is like the best team in the conference.
That
And
was
we actually, I mean, it was pretty close. Like I felt like well, not close, but we started
close for what it
battling back
should have
there.
been.
Yeah. we've started battling back there in like the third, fourth quarter. We got some momentum rolling there. So but yeah, I mean, after that, then junior year rolled around. Started off the season as a starter. I mean, was a starter the whole season at quarterback. Just learned a lot. I felt like I had a pretty solid season, both passing and running for the most part. So that was awesome. I think I was like top 2 or 3 in the conference for passing yards and all-purpose yards on offense. So that was pretty awesome. And senior year, COVID kind of happened. So I mean, that kind of put a stump in things. Um, and then I mean, yeah, super senior came around, or the opportunity for me to come back for a 5th year came around because of COVID. So I got COVID year. I took advantage of that because at the time I'm like, I don't know like when I'd ever get the opportunity to play football again. Kind of looking back at it now, I laugh a little bit because I played like this is my second season of being outside of college and potentially playing football again. So I was like my mindset going into that was like my 5th year was I'm not going to probably get this opportunity again. So I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm glad I did. I learned a lot during the COVID year and my super senior year. So I got to shout out my offensive coordinator and QB coach, Matt King. He taught me a lot, just schematically. He helped me like read the defenses a little bit better. Like my knowledge of football has like drastically improved over those 2 years, just getting a different side of things. So, I mean, and then after that, I mean, I think I went dormant for a year, and then
Sitting on the couch.
I know. Well, I mean, I was still working out and stuff, and I started dipping my hand into coaching a little bit there. So I started my first year at Marion High School. So I went back to where I was playing for high school, and I
Yo,
started coaching there. Tried to give back to football because I really enjoyed everything that I learned in football. So I figured I'd try to give back there, and then yeah. So then after that, I got just a random like messenger message off of Facebook from a coach. He's like, "Hey, I'm putting together a team in the Cedar Rapids area, or our team is relocating to Cedar Rapids. Would you be interested in joining the team?" I said, "I'm sure." I mean, for me, I don't want to close any opportunities. I don't want to close any doors. I want to be open to every opportunity possible. I'm not going to say no. I want to at least give it a shot before I make not make my decision, but then see if, hey, maybe this isn't for me or not. So said yes. We're doing some practices. It was just a semi-pro football team, 9-man league. We travel kind of all over like the Midwest area. So we played some games in Minnesota. Um, Most of our games were actually in Minnesota if we did travel. We had a couple in Iowa. So, I mean, that was a lot of fun, just something to stay in shape. It's kind of like a competitive slow pitch softball, but like for
Yeah.
football. So that was a lot of fun. And I know like when coming out of coming out of college, the Cedar Rapids Titans had always been a team
Yep.
that had been around an arena, indoor football team. And so we had gone like when I was younger in middle school, like we had gone to some of the games, like our choir in middle school was singing the national anthem. So like we got
Awesome.
invited to those things. And so going to those, like I thought that was like so cool. Um, and in college, like that was going to be my goal was like, hey, you know what? I want to try out for the indoor team. Why not? Like we're going to see what happens. The worst thing they can say is no, hey, you're not on the team. Then I know, like, you know, I gave it my best shot. Why not? But then when I got done with college, like they weren't around anymore. That league actually kind of went dormant for like from COVID till this 2024 season. So, um, I was like, well, I didn't think I'd get my chance just because they went dormant. I didn't know when that next opportunity would be for me to try out for them. And then found out the Titans changed their name and had different ownership, and they were now called the Cedar Rapids River King. And like one day it was just kind of like a fluke thing. I like looked them up, their Facebook page came up, and then on the Facebook page it said tryout in Cedar Rapids at this place. And I was like, oh no way,
No way. What are the odds?
this is exactly what I was looking for. So I emailed the owner and just tagged a bunch of like highlight videos. I wasn't gonna be able to make the tryout, but I still wanted to try out. Like I was gonna do everything, like whatever worked, I was gonna do it. Because I didn't want any like special like treatment or anything like that. Like I wanted to do the work, I want to do the trial, I want to do the workout. So I emailed the owner, sent just like a long email giving pretty much my whole synopsis of what I'm telling you now. And then tag like all the highlight video that I had. So like high school, college, semi-pro, all of it. Tagged it all. Sent it to him and then sent like a follow-up email probably like 4 or 5 days later. They got back to me and he said, hey, we would love to set something up with you. We can do like an individual tryout. We love your film. We think you could be potentially a good addition to the team since we're restarting everything. We want to come out with a bang. So they allowed me to try out, did the tryout, signed a camp contract. So I'm now part of the camp roster because it's set up just like the pros, like the NFL. So like you go into camp, you have however many guys in camp, but then at the end of camp or throughout camp, they'll cut people because the league just announced it was I think 26 guys on the roster because this is an 8-man football league. It was 26 guys was the max on the roster. They bumped that up to 30. So, and there's maybe 40, 45 guys going to camp.
Ooh.
So, so that's my, I say, so that's me looking forward. That's my next step right now is to try to make it through camp and make it on the team is the goal. So that's
Gotcha.
kind of the whole synopsis of my football,
That is,
of
yeah.
my
So if
football
you're
days. So
sitting back,
it's kind of long winded, but
no,
it
that's
was
awesome. And
a
I'm
long
gonna kind of
career.
debrief or kind of like talk about your entire path. First off, I'm repping like all Isaak Hahn gear, got the
Yeah,
Marion
yeah.
Cornell.
Appreciate. Well, you got that hat from me, so
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I had to rep it. I don't wear it. Like this is the only
hey, I
time I think
love
I've
it. I
worn it since
love
you
it.
given it to me. But
I
I mean,
love
going
it.
back all the way from when you were a child, right? Your parents. Now, parenting first off is hard, as you know about baby Bentley. Like you obviously want your kid to try. When you have a kid one day, you're gonna want him to do football, right? Same
Yep.
with him. So it's really just like how your dad had that lifestyle, right? He still goes works out. He's still getting his jumper worked on, right?
Yep.
He's still golfing all
Yep.
the time. He showed you how to do that, and I think that's what points you in that life direction. There's plenty of
Mhm.
people that go do it, but they don't show it, right? That's why I'm a physical educator. That's why I still work out. And anyway, if I didn't, I think I'd go insane. But like I want to show them,
Yeah.
like, hey, you can do it, right? Like you can
Mhm.
go play football. Now talking about your college career, right? 7%. I think it's even less than that. Go on to play college sports.
Mhm.
And people all the time D3 or bust, right? I tell my students, I say it a lot here on the podcast, like it means a whole lot, Isaac, to like go play even at the D3 level, right? You're playing against
Mhm.
other dudes who made that decision. You're playing college ball, right? Sometimes it may not seem like that it is, but it is. I mean, you're going to school, you're
Mhm.
working out, you're going to practice, and then in the off season, all that as well.
Mhm.
So I like those individuals who really highlight those careers, right? Highlight those things like, oh, I just got, an offer here. Like it's still an offer. They're offering you a roster spot, right? You can't
Right.
just go walk on somewhere, hey, can I join your team? It's like, well, you got to do a tryout. We're just not going to accept you. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
so going back to the D1 or bust thing or like D3 or bust,
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
said
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
Um, like I'm sure you were kind of in the same mindset that I was when I was like a freshman, sophomore in college. It's like I'm going D1, like it's either D1 or
Oh, yeah.
bust. Like exactly that was exactly my mindset when I first started. Like, oh, like I should look at like colleges and see kind of like what I can do here and stuff like that. And then like as I got older, it's like, okay, well, D2 is an option. I could go play D2. Like D2 ball would be fun.
Yeah.
Like that, like it's not D1, but it's D2. Like that's fine. It's all right. It's still football. And then like as I got older, it was like, okay, D3 NAIA. Give me a shot. Let's go. I just want to play football. Like I love the game. Give me a shot, give me an opportunity. And I just think it's funny because I'm sure other guys were in the same situation, but um, just going in and thinking like, oh, I'm D1, and then how your mindset changes as you get
Yeah.
older and closer
So
to that exciting point that, hey, I just want to play football. I don't really care what level it is. Like, I just want to be on the team. be on the roster. Like
Yeah, I
I
know.
want to.
Yeah, I'm mistaken. It's D1 or bust, not D3 or bust.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
you're
we
fine.
all
Hey,
want
I
to.
know
You're
what you
telling
mean.
me you don't want to walk out to Back and Black on the Iowa Hawkeyes wear the black and yellow? Like that was a
Oh,
dream.
right. I
That
mean,
would have been awesome, right?
I
I
mean, I
would have
feel like that's every kid's dream here in Iowa.
exactly. But then the older I got, and some of those older students who I went to school with, like they started going the D3 route. I'm like, okay, like this is cool. I can go those routes, and then those schools showed interest. Just how Coach Dykes showed interest in you. You get interest from coaches, like you're trying to send out film to everybody. It's like, all right, these are the coaches who actually are offering me something because I just want to
Mhm.
go play football. I had a
Right.
different scenario with injuries and whatnot. It kind of made me, go that route. But like, I was so happy that I did. So happy that I
Mhm.
played. Like, we play college football. Like, yeah, I don't care
Yep.
if it's D3, this or that. Like, it's still the same thing. It is still under the NCAA. We couldn't go sports gamble at the time. All right.
Mhm.
We couldn't do that or else we'd get
Couldn't.
kicked off the team. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just awesome to hear another person that went the D3 route. Obviously, I have a lot of, Cornell people on here. And just the
Mhm.
reasoning behind it. Like Coach Dyke is showing up to your game. Like people still show up. Like I know the
Yeah.
Iowa Hawkeye coaches, Phil Parker, came to one of our Williamsburg games that the team that I coach for. Like he's coming for his athletes.
Mhm.
Cornell still does that too. So that's awesome. Uh, next, you go into this kind of goes into my next question too. But after you graduate, right, fifth year senior, you wanted to come back, had more to show. That was always injuries. I didn't go the fifth year route because like I kind of needed to stop and get my body a break. But let's talk about Rampage and just kind of like the crazy atmosphere that was. It's a semi-pro league, but you had to go get
Mhm.
your own gear. Like
Yep.
you said, it was the competitive slow pitch. And it was
Mhm.
what was it, 8-man as well? Or 9-man.
9 man. This one was
9-man, right?
9.
Because you didn't have the
Yep.
tackles.
Right.
So how was playing with like 9 guys, like 2 less dudes on the field?
So like it was definitely a change because obviously I'm used to seeing the line like we got 5 across and maybe a tight end. So it's like 6 guys on the line. Like it's like wide, and even like when you have wide nines, like the ends all the
Yeah.
way out, like it's still going to take them a couple seconds, even if they don't get blocked to get right to you. So you still got a little bit of time. In the 9 man, they get to you a little faster. Um, we don't have like obviously some of the guys like the skill level there is just anywhere from they played like middle school football all the way to like college athlete. So there's a wide
Oh wow.
range of
Okay.
skill throughout like the whole team, the whole league. But yes, you did have to go get your own equipment. I was fortunate enough. I was still coached. Like I kept a bunch of my Cornell gear, or like the stuff that I had for Cornell. So like my girdle, I had
Yeah.
cleats, I had my arm sleeves, I had undershirts, I had all that except for helmet, shoulder pads, and pants. Those were the only 3 things that I didn't have. So I was lucky enough that there was like online sites, like secondhand online sites. Like I think I did like sideline swap for like my
Oh, cool.
helmet, and I got a nice like speed flex for like $200.
Nice.
Some of the pads were popped, so like I had to go and like replace those, which like that wasn't like terrible. I was fortunate enough that like I was still coaching at Marion. Um, I did check with like the booster club, the head coach of the football team and stuff to see like if I could use maybe like the shoulder pads because I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want them to get in trouble, so I asked them. They were nice enough to let me use the shoulder pads for this season. They just said, "Hey, like obviously if anything breaks, like you'll be on the hook for it, or
Yeah.
like just make sure you return it in as good of condition as you got it, or try to." And so I was very fortunate on that. And then pants you can kind of find anywhere. So that was really it. And I mean, you know me, I use the volleyball knee pads instead of like the actual knee pads and
Nice.
pants. I find it works way better. Also had a problem in like my one big injury, knock on wood here, in football was like I burst my bursa sac on my knee,
Oh, that's no fun.
like that like swelled up and stuff. So, and that was because like my knee pads were in my pants, and like when I get tackled from behind, like drop to my knees, the knee pad would slide out, and so I land pretty
Yeah,
much
they're
just
not
knee
good knee pads. They don't
on the
protect
turf.
anything.
So I'm like, you know what? The volleyball knee pads, like I had some from wrestling, and so I just used those. Those ended up working out just fine. So I didn't really need to get a whole lot of gear other than like the super expensive stuff.
Yeah,
which was
that's
the
that's
helmet and
just
the shoulder.
crazy. You all would just travel, maybe carpool together and just go
Mhm.
play. How did the season end out? Y'all made playoffs,
Yep, we
right?
made playoffs. Got we lost the first round of playoffs, which was the same team that we played like the week prior. So it was
Oh,
like
so
back
back to
to
back.
weeks against the same team. I thought we were definitely good enough. And I thought we were the better team for sure. We just gave up like we get them like it would be third and long for them on when they were on offense, and the quarterback they'd go for it on fourth down or it'd be like third and long, and the quarterback would like run back and like scramble around and then chuck it deep to a wide receiver and
Ugh,
he'd go up and catch it and they'd get a first down or a touchdown. Like it was just fluke big plays like that. Whereas like we were like grinding down the field, like chunk plays,
yeah,
like little 3, 4, 5 yard gains on the run, stuff like that. But we just couldn't we couldn't also there we also left some plays out there offensively. So that happens as well. I'm not going to put it all on the defense because offense we could have gone down and scored on every series and we would have taken more pressure off the defense
yeah,
to make it to the next round. But you know what, it happens. It was a good learning experience. It was also not pretty much a brand new team. We had all like new guys. There was I think 3 or 4 returners from like the year prior. So like there was a lot of like new faces. So the fact that we did that well with it being a new team and the limited practice time that we had, I thought that was just kind of a true testament to like the players that we had on the team, and we had some studs and we had some good role players. So that was always encouraging. So
awesome.
yeah.
Now, kind of at the now point of your career, we'll talk about that briefly. You already mentioned it about the River Kings, how the Titans before, and I know they're the
Mhm.
indoor football league. I mean, I love indoor
Get
football.
them
When I
like
was
it would be third and long for them on when they were on offense, and the quarterback they'd go for it on fourth down or it'd be like third and long, and the quarterback would like run back and like scramble around and then chuck it deep to a wide receiver, and
uh,
he'd go up and catch it, and they'd get a first down or a touchdown. Like it was just fluke big plays like that. Whereas like we were like grinding down the field, like chunk plays,
yeah,
like little 3, 4, 5 yard gains on the run, stuff like that. But we just couldn't we couldn't also there we also left some plays out there offensively. So that happens as well. I'm not going to put it all on the defense because offense we could have gone down and scored on every series and we would have taken more pressure off the defense
yeah,
to make it to the next round. But you know what, it happens. It was a good learning experience. It was also not pretty much a brand new team. We had all like new guys. There was I think 3 or 4 returners from like the year prior. So like there was a lot of like new faces. So the fact that we did that well with it being a new team and the limited practice time that we had, I thought that was just kind of a true testament to like the players that we had on the team, and we had some studs and we had some good role players. So that was always encouraging. So
awesome.
yeah.
Now, kind of at the now point of your career, we'll talk about that briefly. You already mentioned it about the River Kings, how the Titans before, and I know they're the
Mhm.
indoor football league. I mean, I love indoor football. When I was up in the Quad Cities, I was a Quad City Steam Wheeler fan. Haley and
Yep.
I would go and we'd go watch. It was awesome. I got some of the gear. I'm like, this is so cool. They're right there. You're barking at them. Like,
Yep.
I even told him, like, I should try out for one of these teams. Like, let me return
Mhm.
kicks and go be a little running back.
Yep.
So I know it's a different league. It's not the IFL, but it's a different league. So you won't be playing the Steamers, which that would have been crazy. Or
Mhm.
like the Barnstormers, which a lot of people know of Kurt Warner with the movie.
Right.
The Barnstormers would always play the Steam Wheelers. We had someone, coach of the Barnstormers here on the podcast, I think 2 seasons ago. But
Mhm.
let's talk about tryouts. First off, if you make the team, we're going to be the biggest River King fans. I'm going to try to get in that
Yeah.
front row. Like, let's
Hey man,
go.
I'm trying to just bring everybody with me if I
Yes.
make it on the
You're going to
team.
be
Like
like, yeah,
I'm
you're going to bring
bring
in a
everybody
fan
with.
base.
Yeah.
It's like you need to sign this guy because he's going to bring in the fans.
We will
We're
get
gonna be
tickets sold, I
tailgating.
promise you.
Yeah, we're gonna be tailgating River Kings. It'll be awesome. We'll have the gear. We'll have your jerseys. Like it'll be sweet. But tryouts. Let's talk about or when camp is and when the season starts. Just kind of give us that.
Mhm. So camp our report day is March 3rd.
Oh, coming up.
But since I'm a close guy, like it works out really good for me. That's one less person that they need to find housing for. One less person that I mean, they are offering like giving us meals and stuff like throughout camp. So like it's like the whole like 9 yards. But I'm in a good situation because I'm in Cedar Rapids already. There's a lot of people that are coming from out of town. It's not just like Cedar Rapids guys
Yeah.
or Iowa guys. We have people coming like all across the country to play because there's a lot of guys that are like former D1 players, all the way down to like D3 players, JUCO players. We got everybody. And so there's a lot of guys coming from out of town. They're trying to make it to the league, trying to make it to the next level. Our head coach actually played a couple seasons for the Browns.
Oh, that's sweet.
He when he graduated, he went to a D2 school, super fast slot receiver. And then he went to I think he might have went to like the CFL maybe.
Canadian Football League.
Yeah, and then he played like a good chunk of his career in arena football. So like he's been on some winning programs. He played on the Titans for a little bit. He also
Oh,
played on the
sick.
Barnstormers for a little bit too. So yeah, we've got some experience there for head coach just in arena football in general. But yeah, we've got a lot of people coming in, so they're finding housing and stuff for them. So report day is March 3rd, and then we have physicals on the 4th, and then the 5th is when like the first day of practice starts. Like the first day
Gotcha.
of camp is the 5th of March. And so then we got camp for I think 5 days. And then at the end of that, we have
Like
a
bring it to
scrimmage,
the
like
office. Oh, a
squad
scrimmage.
scrimmage. Yeah, like an inter squad
Is that live
scrimmage.
to the fans?
I do not know if it's open to the public, but like if I do find that information out, like I would obviously try to get that out to everybody. Just to try to get some support for the River Kings. I think that'd be awesome. Bringing football back. I said
Cedar
the
Rapids.
catchphrase right now when they're posting on their page is the best show on turf. So try to get
Right.
that out. But yeah, so camps the whole week, and then yep, we have inter squad scrimmage, and I think the next week, like a week from the scrimmage, is our first like exhibition game in I think it's the Alliant Powerhouse is what
Yeah,
they
so they're
call it
gonna
now.
make the powerhouse, the U.S. Cellular Center, into an indoor football league, dude.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Well,
sweet.
that's where the Titans, what like the Titans and
Played.
the first year of the River Kings, that's where they played. But
Gotcha.
it was like the U.S. Cellular Center or the Five Season Center, I
Oh,
think
it's
is what
always
it
the
was
U.S. Cellular Center.
called. Yeah, so it's gone through some name changes, but yep, it's right in downtown Cedar Rapids, kind of right in the heart of it. So
Nice.
that's where our home field is.
Home field is bringing football back to Cedar Rapids.
Yep, yep.
Let's talk about you. What people can expect. Hopefully, when you make the team. What is the best part of your game? Like, what's one thing that the River Kings would be very beneficial?
I feel like I'm not like a loud vocal leader. Like I'm a lead by example kind of a guy. And I think that is kind of a very beneficial part of my game. I also am like not like a never quit kind of a person. So because I feel like those things that's all attitude and that's all like a want to, but not so much like skill base um qualities. So like that's like one thing that like I want to try to bring, like always be encouraging, always being kind of like a leader. I feel like the quarterback role, like you have to be a leader anyway, to kind of play that position. So at least like when away from the skill part, I feel like that's what I can bring. Um, for like at least the skill part of things, I have a pretty quick release. I feel like I can get the
Okay.
ball out pretty quick. And since like we're gonna be playing some good teams, they'll be putting a lot of pressure on us, like in the pocket. So I think that would be a good skill to have is getting the ball out quick. You don't really need to throw the ball super far in this league because the field's only I think 50 yards.
Yeah.
The middle of the field's 25 yards, so you don't really need to throw the ball or have a big arm to be successful in the league. So I mean, I'd consider myself like more of a dual threat quarterback. Not that I'm like super fast or anything, but I mean, I have good acceleration, but when your top speed is not very high, it doesn't take you very long to get there.
So
So,
you can get there quick, but
so, so I think like me having a good, like a quick throwing motion, I think that will kind of help out. I know there's a veteran who's been in the league. He's bounced around from some teams. He was on like the Arizona Rattlers and a couple, and I know he was there for a while, but he's played quarterback. He's a former Ohio State wide receiver.
That's
But
great.
he's been doing the league, or he's been in the league for, or doing arena football for a while. So I'm kind of curious and like hoping to learn from him. I know he's got a lot of experience, so that would be just like one thing that I'm kind of excited about going into it, is learning from somebody who's had some good success in the league. I think that'd be something awesome. I mean, like to say that I'm a student of the game, so learn as
Mhm.
much as I can is always a good thing. I feel like the day that you stop wanting to learn stuff is the day that you kind of like fail as a human. Like you
Oh, I
gotta like
totally
you
get that.
can't
I'm actually reading a
keep,
book
but
right now.
like you should always be wanting to learn, like regardless of it, if it's like your job, just about yourself, somebody else. Like I feel like you should always try to be learning. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
was reading a book about that, about positivities and leaders and how Zig Ziglar is one of like the top motivational speakers. He's like some 80-year-old dude, and he was watching this guy speak, and he's over there pen and pencil, like taking stuff. So he was also being a student of, his craft. But that's awesome. And yeah, quick release time is always good. You always see it on the NFL now, like, oh, this guy gets it out and point whatever, or this guy's a little bit slower motion compared to all the other NFL guys. So I know that's a big part of the game, in which, especially in a fast-paced game like indoor football, arena league,
Mhm.
you gotta need that. So awesome. No, I love learning about the arena football. What's the official title of your league?
The AIF,
AIF.
the
Got
yeah, I don't
Arena
even know. I
Indoor
think the
Football
Arena
League.
Indoor Football League, I think
Gotcha.
is what it's
So the
called.
AIF. But next we're just gonna talk about some more random things. Not necessarily too random, but kind of more quick hitters. Best wide receiver you ever had. Who is like the best receiver you could just throw it up in all levels? So this could be recent Rampage, back at
You know what? He didn't have a lot of recognition. Well, I'll have to say there's two. There's
okay.
two. One of them would have to be Cheyenne Mino, possession catcher.
Possession
I knew
catcher, getting shout.
whenever I threw him the ball, it was gonna be, well, actually, I'm gonna take that back. It's gonna be three people. Three people. So Cheyenne Mino, I knew if I was gonna get it to him, he was gonna catch it and hold on to the ball and
Ball down.
possession catch king. So he was gonna make it happen. The second one, who didn't really get a lot of recognition, but Blake Meredith.
Really?
He had some really good hands, and like I feel like he didn't get as much of a chance as I think he probably should have, but he could.
Gotcha.
I like I just like I went back and I was watching some highlights because I was showing somebody something. And we were in a game and I threw one up, just kind of like a 50-50 ball. And he went up and got it, like no hesitation, no.
Man, all right.
So that's my like hidden one. And then I'd also have to say like Mason Davis, him and I had a pretty good connection. My junior year when I played, and then my super senior year, he
Yeah.
came back for a fifth year as well. So him and I had a lot of yards, a lot of completions between the two of us. So that was another big body that I could throw to. So
Nice.
appreciate
All
it
right.
from
A
those guys.
hidden gem.
And then I mean I can't like, not saying that any of the other ones were bad or anything, but
They're all
I have three of
terrible.
them for
Wow,
mine.
you should.
But like I love throwing to all of them. It's not that I hated anybody. I try to
Like
give
everyone
everybody.
has it. Tom Brady definitely has like the Randy Moss, the Julian. Like those are the
Oh
best to
right,
3-2, but obviously everyone else was great. We're not being bad towards the
not
others.
bashing. We're not bashing anybody
Bash.
else. I promise. I love
Um,
everybody that I threw to,
that's
even
awesome.
Mickey Hahn.
It's like Drew Brees when he retired, he like signed a football. It's like every one of the people who caught a touchdown from when he like broke a record or whatever. It was really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah,
Next one. If you weren't slinging the football, what would you be doing?
probably golfing or skiing, depending on the season.
Golfing.
One
Okay,
of the
golfing.
two. One of the
Uh,
two.
would you enter an amateur like tournament? Could you win it? Like go into an amateur? I guess you're a pro.
Um, like if it was like a country club, not country club, but yeah, like a, because there's a lot of places that will have like just amateur tournaments. I
Yeah,
think if you gave me like a month or two to prepare for it, like I'd
like
probably
getting on the
practice
greens
like
every day.
every day, getting stuff like dialed in. I think I would score okay. I don't think I'd win per se.
You get
Like I
top
would say
10.
like, maybe. I just don't know like what I'd be going up
You're
against
being
because
way
like
too humble because everyone who's listening, when we play our best ball tournaments, we're always, just go with Isaak shot. And like we score under par, like we're balling, like we'll maybe take one or two of ours after he has one like bad hit. But you're very good. I would love to see it. I would caddy you and absolutely tell you nothing. I'd be like, yep, just hit it. You got it.
no, I just probably like shoot the crap with you and
And
like
then get
hey,
distracted.
so, what do you think on this one? What do you think? Like if I do this, how crazy would that be? So
Yeah. No, you're crazy good at golf. I know that'd definitely be one of the things you'd be doing. If not, I know we play all the time, so hoping this summer we'll be playing again.
oh
Two
yeah.
more questions here for you. A little bit more easier, but Super Bowl prediction. We're a football podcast here. The NFL playoffs are here. They are here now. You watch. You are very involved with fantasy football. Super Bowl prediction.
Um, you know what? There's a couple teams I'd love to see.
Ooh, okay.
My just going off of seeding right now, I'm gonna say like the Ravens and the 49ers, just off of seeding. What I'd love to see the Bills get a Super Bowl. I'd love to see the Bills get a Super Bowl because they've been just like on the verge of it
Yep.
for the last like couple years. I'd love to see the Bills get a Super Bowl. The Texans could be kind of dangerous, man.
They're
I'm
fun.
I'm I'm enjoying the Texans. I've got a friend who's a big Texans fan, so like we've been watching the games together and stuff. I'd love to see the Texans win. I'm a Steelers fan, so like I'm gonna say Steelers. I got to root for my dogs. Mike Tomlin's the goat. I don't care
He
what
is definitely.
anybody else is gonna say. Mike Tomlin's the goat. So I mean, those are some of the teams I'd love to see. Um, I mean, the Chiefs are okay. I was kind of rooting for the Dolphins a little bit, but they kind of struggled last night. They didn't look very good, in my opinion. I don't think they looked
Oh,
very
really?
good. Just some questionable decisions. When it came to like the passing game, I thought they didn't really. I don't know. They missed out on a lot of opportunities. I feel like. So I don't know. Those are just kind of spitballing there. So we'll see
Gotcha.
how it
So
shakes out.
49ers, Ravens, or if not, you want the Bills or the Texans. I honestly like the Texans. I like CJ Stroud. I said he was the best quarterback coming out of the draft. So I'm just really good at choosing the best quarterbacks coming out of drafts here lately. I know it's me a
Hey,
big
well, hey,
draft.
can you like foreshadow some of that like magic on me? Like, hey, Isaac Hahn, like going to like making the
Going
river.
into the River
Hey,
Kings,
come
yes,
on.
I do think that he's going to be the star. He's going to make the team. We're already repping the jersey. I can envision it
I
now.
need you to manifest that.
Manifest it. Yeah, definitely. No, we're rooting for you, and obviously we want you to do it. But awesome Super Bowl prediction. Last question here. Your brother did come on the podcast, Brevin Hahn.
Yep.
We had a fantastic talk. That was a very good interview. And we're supposed to get together and play Monopoly sometime. This is a big
Yes.
thing. Who's the best? So, Isaac, who's better at
Yes.
Monopoly, you or Brevin?
Oh, Brevin, hands down. Like
Oh, I thought you would.
there's no like Brevin somehow just like manifests. So like for me, I'm kind of like a strategic person. So like I'm trying to spend as little money as
Okay.
possible. And like when I throw my trades together, I try to make it obviously to benefit me.
Yeah.
Um Brevin is like most of the time they're like, oh well, like the banker like is not good. Like they usually cheat and stuff. Brevin, I will have to give him a lot of credit. He is a really good banker. Like
Okay. He said, a lot
he
of
doesn't
people call
really
him
cheat.
out.
He doesn't really cheat. He brings out good rules. He's pretty good dispersing the money and everything. So I mean, he does a very good job at the banker. But I will have to say, Brevin is the better Monopoly player. For me, it's like, okay, well, I'll give you this card to complete your set, but then I don't have to pay anything when I
Yeah,
come
I love
across
those. Yeah. I get a free
colors.
house.
And then what ends up happening is people get pissed off because then I just land on those colors, and
Yep.
then they give me all my stuff back because they're like, here, I don't want it anymore. You get it back. So
Break
then I'm
off
like,
the
oh,
trade.
hey, that's fine with me.
I
That
love
I
those
don't.
trades. That's kind of how I roll with Monopoly as well.
I think it will be definitely a really good game when the three of us play.
Yes,
I
it's
think it'll
gonna
be a lot of
happen. We're putting it together here soon, y'all. I've been talking.
Oh
We're
yeah.
gonna play some Monopoly, but Brevin is the prediction, the minus
Yes.
110 winner of Monopoly. That is funny, and I like how honest you are. Like you broke it down.
Yes.
Like Brevin is that dude. Like he's the banker, great
You
banker.
know what? I gotta give credit where credit's due, man. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna try to talk myself up and lie about the other people, man. I'm gonna give them the credit.
the flowers. Y'all who are listening, this has been an awesome episode, awesome interview with Isaak Hahn, talking about all things football and a career path that a lot of people don't typically take. It's been awesome. It's been fun. look forward for the Monopoly video. Maybe we'll make a Monopoly
Yep.
video with the Hans. But any last words before we sign off?
Nope. Just thanks for letting me be on the podcast. I appreciate it, man.
All righty. Much love. See you later, y'all. Peace.